My name's Stephen Jackson.
Hi, I'm Lucy.
My name's Lindsay.
I'm Polly.
Steve Hughes, known as Billy, most people.
Hi, my name's John Gilbert.
Hi, my name's Andy.
I'm Mike Watts.
I'm Dave Pattison.
My name's Karen Hodgson, and I used to smoke.
I think my first cigarette was probably aged around 13. It was just something that I got into because my friends did.
Started as a teenager because I just thought it was part of being with the crowd, being thing, part of being a gang, part of being accepted.
It was the gang I was in.
My mates were doing it, so peer pressure and all that.
I think I really first started smoking when I was working in a hotel when I was about 17 or 18, because basically if you're a non-smoker you didn't get a break.
Well, when you went out, when you were sort of 13 or 14, the impression was if you got a boyfriend, he offered you a cigarette and you smoked it, whether you liked it or not.
I was 13-year-old, I'd just left junior school in the 6 weeks holidays, ready to start senior school, and the new lads what I'd met, so was all smoking, so we just tried it from there, and that was it, I was hooked.
All my family did it, all my friends did it. You follow the followers.
I think it was mainly when I was started going out in town drinking and things like that. All your friends are doing it. You genuinely do not think about the damage it's doing to you. You don't. It's part of, especially when I was smoking, it was about relaxation. People were smoking in the pubs. It was just part of my friends did it, so I did it. And it wasn't that I'm easily led. It was the fact that we all just sat around, we were in a pub having a smoke. You know, as a teenager, everybody would walk to school smoking. It was just part of acceptance.
Half my dinner money would go on buying 5 cigs, and then it just kind of carried on from there. I became a smoker.
I just thought it was just to get in with my mates, do you know what I mean? It wasn't anything to... I suppose, yeah, I kind of got obviously addicted to it as the time went on. But right at the beginning, it was more getting with my mates and, you know, getting with this crew and getting with that crowd.
I smoked from a very early age, but all my family smoked. I had 2 elder brothers and an elder sister, and of course my mum and dad, and there were 6 of us at home, and they all smoked.
You knew you were doing something wrong, you knew it was unhealthy. Of course you knew that, but it was more, I felt accepted by smoking.
A few years later, I just generally was a bit sick of being a smoker, to be honest. There was the issue of control. I didn't like the idea that I was relying upon this. For instance, if I was going on a journey, so I was flying to go on holiday on a train journey to go somewhere exciting, rather than being excited about where I was going, I found myself thinking, oh, I can't wait till we land or get there so I can get and have a cigarette, which, when I think about it, is quite a sad way of looking at things. My
grandmother died underneath the age of 60. She was quite a heavy smoker, and then about 10 years after that I was still smoking, and my father had to have a quadruple heart bypass, and the main reason why that happened was because of his smoking, and that literally stopped me because I didn't want to see myself either dying under 60 years old or having a quadruple heart bypass. And when you see the large scar down the front of somebody's body when that's what's happened to them, it wasn't for me.
I was very susceptible to anything that might harm my child, and I stopped. And then I started to persuade Dave to stop.
The next day I'd always pick my clothes up and smell them and ate it. And I knew I hated it. And I knew sometimes he'd smoke for the sake of smoking. And I just hated that. It was like, that was controlling me, not me controlling it.
It's a lot easier now than it was to quit, because you haven't got the peer pressure of everybody else smoking in the pub. You haven't, you know, I'm a lot older now, so I am naive and think, this will be cool to get in. Do you know what I mean? I'm just a lot more independent kind of thing.
July of last year I decided to stop smoking after my 13-year-old son had done a piece at school, and he tugged at my heartstrings with regards of that he didn't want to be left fatherless at a young age.
Also, as I got a bit older, my circle of friends changed. I found that more of my friends were not smokers, so I became a lot more of an outsider, having to literally pop outside in the cold to go and have a cigarette when it was just easier if I didn't have to do that.
I was aware of the dangers of smoking around children, but that was made very clear to me by Polly, who obviously wanted to look after the children's health. And she told them that smoking was very bad for you, that it turned your lungs black and you would die. And so, you know, I would come home from work after a busy day and I'd light a cigarette and the children would start to cry and say, oh, Daddy's going to die, his lungs are going to turn black and he'll die and he'll leave us. And so, of course, being concerned about children's health, eventually I stopped.
One of the things that I noticed about my father and my grandmother through the smoking is their skin, how much their skin's aged. And one of the things that I would really like to protect is my skin.
I think basically I've tried to quit quite a lot of times because I always thought I'm quite a controlled person. I didn't like the thought of being controlled by something else.
I think it's because I'm less stressed that I've come to decide to want to stop smoking, but mainly it's because of my health.
My son can't really remember my nana, but I want my son's kids to remember me when I get older, so that's what I chose for my son.
It just made me realise that I wanted more of my life, that possibly dying at 60 years old or an operation like that level at 60 years old was not what I wanted for my life. And the only way I was going to change it was by stopping smoking.
That's come easy now, quit smoking.
I'm my granddad's favourite grandson and I used to be borrowing money off him all the time and now I don't have to.
We very rarely went into clubs because of cigarettes.
The reason I stopped smoking is simply because I would not be beaten.
I play for the local football team now, and they're a pretty good football team. And I can't believe the difference in fitness from when I used to play. And I was younger then as well.
You know, it's been important to me to have the energy to enjoy a good life. You know, I want to enjoy time with my dog, I want to enjoy time with my partner, going away on nice weekends. And I couldn't do that if I'd carried on smoking.
The biggest reason I'm glad that I stopped smoking is that I don't have to stand out in the freezing cold every time I feel like I need a cig.
I bought a large bottle, empty bottle, which I was going to put my money in each day. It's my 20th wedding anniversary this year, and we're going on a brilliant holiday to Las Vegas to celebrate. And that's all paid for by the stopping smoking money.
And another reason why I decided to stop smoking was I also didn't want the breath of a dog.
I have to go all the way down to Colchester to pick my son up once a month, and now I've stopped smoking I can afford to go see my son.
And now I can afford a lovely house like this.
And I think one of the best things is obviously that I'll have a longer life to spend with my family.